All right, hey everyone. We're going to talk about this Bare Knuckle event coming up. I guess to be more technical, it's BKFC 41 in Colorado. Yeah. So we're going to talk about two fights. The first fight we're going to talk about will be Onyx. You always have to say the names.
We got Chad Mendes versus Eddie Alvarez.
And both UFC veterans here. Okay. So yeah, what's I like to go last. So we'll start with that side of the room. If you guys want to start that off. I mean, they're not giving us much. No.
They weigh the same.
They weigh.
Chad Mendes has one bare knuckle fight.
Yeah.
They're both from the United States of America.
Yeah. That's our tell of the tape.
Yeah, both these guys are solid. Chad Mendes is juicy as hell right now.
Good.
So I'm gonna give him the upper hand. He also has one bare knuckle fight, so I think he kind of
Who did he fight?
I don't even remember. Eddie Alvarez is a dog though, you know. So he's been through some shit. Connor pieced him up, but you know it's just gonna be a dog fight. They're both gonna just fucking throw hands. I'm gonna give Chad Mendes the edge though. I think he'll get the decision victory.
Interesting.
Quick question. Out of those two, who's got the beard?
Chad Mendes has a better beard.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm going to go with Chad Mendes.
Eddie Alvarez got like Italian
Yeah.
stepfather beard right now.
Thicker, yeah, much thicker beard. Yeah, I see that. Okay. All the way up to the ears in there? Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Connecting.
Yep. I'm going to go with that as a fellow beardman myself. And then I read some crazy statistic. I probably heard it on TikTok, but something that if you have a beard, you reduce punch impact by like 50%.
At least.
Something. I don't know how they calculated that, but
I mean,
I heard that somewhere.
That's why John Jones did it for so long. You know what I mean?
That's right. He did do
Yeah,
that,
it was
right?
deceiving because you punch the beard, you don't know if it's chin or not.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go.
Might slide right through.
There you go. That's what I think.
Tactics.
So I'm gonna go with Chad Mendes, and then plus straight up, like if I saw that guy in the produce aisle at King Soopers, I just back away. I'd be like, "Here you go, sir. You can just have your pineapples if you need them.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Here you go, sir. You need some apples too. Here you go.
You need also some pine." Dude, he for sure smells like. Doesn't he do a whole bunch of like outdoors stuff?
Yeah,
He be doing like wilderness stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he
for sure smells like pine.
So he's real life Paul Bunyan.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
If Paul Bunyan was very, very short.
Okay. Still Paul Bunyan, but very Okay.
That's Paul
Very
Onion.
stout. We'll call that.
Yeah.
You know, short people don't like to be called short, right? They're like stout. Stout.
Hey, censored. Joey's first line is beep.
And then there will be blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be tons of blood, and I think there's gonna be a knockout. I think Mendes knocks him out.
Yo.
Oh hell yeah.
Right hand. I'll put it on that. 50 burpees.
What round?
2.
Okay.
Round 2. Round 1's the setup. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Fair. Understandable.
I can tell you something interesting about this fight. They're fighting at 155. Eddie was 155 champ. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I would say Chad, he was fighting 145. Yeah. So Chad is going to, yeah. So like Eddie's fighting at his more natural weight class, and Chad is fighting a weight class above. So that's something to think about.
For sure. Chad's definitely on the juice, though.
I mean, Eddie's probably.
They're both at this
I
point.
think everyone
everyone
in that stadium.
because they're a little older now. Everyone in the stadium, everyone's just throwing needles into the ring. Yeah. The ref at the same time.
Juiced out of his
The ref
mouth.
at the same time is just like hitting himself with needles, like go.
Oh yeah, in between rounds.
Yeah, because by the time your knuckle gets all that juice, it's gonna crack the skull.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
Durability.
But yeah, I'm gonna say Mendes. He's a beefy boy.
Okay.
He's a beefy boy.
Three Mendez's in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna go for. You're already
absolutely.
for
I'm breaking the pattern. So I'm gonna definitely go for Eddie Alvarez. I think he was a more successful MMA fighter. Had reached the title in the UFC. There's a lot of like discrepancies around it because of like when he did it and like did not really held it for very long at all. And the guy who beat him got worked in his next fight. You know what I mean? So it's like, how good of a champion was he really? Who knows? But he still reached the belt. Chad Mendes did not. What's it called? Also fought Conor McGregor, and that was
That's right. They both fought Conor.
And Chad Mendes is, from what I know about him, more of a wrestler anyway.
Definitely.
Eddie Alvarez, brawler guy
For
you
sure.
know. I feel like
thought
if
he was gonna
anything, Eddie Alvarez is more suited to this kind of rule set.
That's
I feel like
true.
this is
That's true.
his domain. You know, just going crazy, throwing wide hooks.
Yeah,
until
for
somebody
sure.
dies.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, bare knuckles is a totally different ball game.
Yeah, for
You have to be
sure.
more accurate with your punches,
Mhm.
and if you mess up,
Yeah.
you're gonna crack something probably in your hand.
Yeah, break your knuckles.
Yeah.
It should be broken knuckles.
So,
Fighting
yeah.
championship.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna stay with my decision, but I like
Yeah,
the argument.
I'm gonna go for Eddie Alvarez. I think he's gonna win. I think it's gonna be. I think it could go the distance. Or late round knockout in favor of Eddie Alvarez. TKO. I don't think he's gonna knock him out clean.
What if they just forget and someone takes someone down on accident?
I would love it. And now we have a fight.
Oh yeah, I actually perfectly agree with Onyx. That's like the same, my same logic. Just based off it's 155. Eddie is better striker in my opinion for sure. I think he's gonna definitely win a decision, and I think it's gonna be an amazing fight. I think it's gonna be a brawl, and it's gonna be a really fun thing to watch. So yeah, I definitely recommend watching this fight for sure. But yeah, Eddie Alvarez by decision.
If you're a maniac who loves violence, this is a night for you for sure. Next fight.
Main event.
We got the main event at light heavyweight. Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold
At 175.
at 175, which is
That's
light
light
heavyweight. Yeah, for
Oh.
I guess because it's kind of boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at 175. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna go for Perry. He's got a meaner beard. Look at that.
That's
Look
true.
at that.
That is accurate.
You're not knocking him out first time.
Mike Perry is 2-0
But
in bare knuckle.
Rockhold he's a dog. Like he doesn't quit over nothing. So
Dude, his last fight in the UFC was insanity. With Paulo Costa, they were feeding him to the wolves.
oh yeah.
They were feeding him to Paulo Costa, this giant like mongoloid, and he took it to him. You know, he went the distance, and I think the UFC was probably feeding it to him so he'd get knocked out and leave, with no hopes of the future. But he showed up and showed out and really battled. It was crazy, especially after all those knockout losses in a row. He showed up big time against a guy who a lot of people thought was gonna knock him out as well. So I think Luke Rockhold still got something left in the tank.
Still got some.
Mhm.
I just think he's coming off some wins, right?
Yeah,
That's-
just
2 wins.
knocked out Michael Venom Page.
Well,
I don't think he knocked him out. I think he just won the decision.
Won the decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was an amazing fight.
Yeah.
You guys can watch that fight.
MVP.
Yeah, that was
Put the
amazing.
hands on him
So to me, he's coming off. He's got that confidence.
Yeah,
at
For sure.
175.
That helps. The only way I see him losing is being like overconfident, like coming in too hot, getting caught with some counter that he can't. He's not thinking. He's just swinging.
Why is
That's-
Luke fighting at 175?
Dude,
I was gonna say
that's
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
boy.
that's
He's
gonna be a
gonna
hard
be-
cut
he
for
would
him
be
at the age.
Yeah,
right?
dude. Because he went up to light heavyweight at one point.
So
didn't
hopefully
he?
it's not a bad weight
And
cut for him.
it's
Well, light heavyweight, 38. He was fighting at middleweight.
Yeah.
Then he went up to light heavyweight for a little bit. Then he was back at middleweight. Now he's at 175.
That's a big cut.
I like this.
So I still stick with Perry for sure. That's what I'm going with. But what kind of what do they do with their hands? How are they wrapping their hands?
Oh, okay. What they do is they focus on mostly wrist support. The knuckles are exposed, but they'll tape around the wrist and the thumb, and it has like some kind of support.
Okay.
But the knuckles are pretty much exposed.
Okay. So
Very-
it's
very
full
light.
on knuckle.
Yeah, very light protection. So usually bare knuckles is a lot of like cuts. You see a lot of cuts.
People
Yeah,
bleed everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
it's great.
I remember there was one fight where the guy, they had the camera really close, and it was on like their top 10 worst knockouts or something. Of course, the guy got punched, and then the camera got coated in blood, and they kept filming with that same camera, so you could see blood all over the lens.
Oh, I hope
It
that-
was insanity.
That's great. I hope
It
that
was like
happens
some
again.
gladiator type beat. You know what I mean?
That's
also,
nice.
let's talk about how Perry
He's only 31.
Yeah, that's a huge.
All right.
That's
That's
how old is
that's
Van?
young
How old is
30s.
Luke?
That's a mature, very mature
38,
person.
38.
Yeah.
38 versus
38.
31.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, 38. I feel like.
I mean, Luke Rockhold had a more successful UFC career, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he reached the title. You know, was one of the best guys for a hot minute. You know, then ended up falling off there, unfortunately. But then he ended up coming back in his last fight. So it's a storied career. Mike Perry never really. I don't think he ever was close to like title contention, anything like that. I don't remember the highest he ever got ranked, if he was.
And he's still fighting. And he's 38. That's impressive.
It's impressive for
That
sure.
is very
The guy's a dog. I mean, he's got heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
So I don't know.
I think Luke Rockhold will believe Conceive achieved this victory. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think the weight cut, I'm like, dude, I don't know. He probably struggled to make 185 or whatever, So I'm like, this is 10 pounds less against a younger guy. Mike Perry's, I mean, if he has a chance anywhere, it's probably Bare Knuckle. So I think I'm expecting this one to also be a dogfight. I don't know if Mike Perry could necessarily knock him out. I think Luke is liable to that just because of his chin. We've seen it in the past, but it held well against Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
So this is another kind of close one. Tip said last video, you can go check that out. It's in the top right corner of this one. He said he's 38, feels like shit. So Luke Rockhold probably, somewhere deep down feels more like shit than Mike Perry. So I'm gonna go with Mike Perry decision.
I would think I'm gonna go with Luke Rockhold just because I've been a fan of Luke Rockhold ever since I watched UFC. Mike Perry though, he's a beast. They're both honestly just straight up goons. Like when it comes down to it, they're down to stand and bang, and I love fights like that. So the bare knuckle brawl is gonna be pretty interesting. But I'm sticking with Luke Rockhold. I think he's got one last good fight in him, and just kind of see what goes on from there.
Oh yeah. All right, Onyx.
I'm gonna have to go with Mike Perry. I think he's gonna get the dub. I think bare knuckle is perfect for him. I don't think there's a better rule set for him to be fighting under. This is his domain, as far as I'm concerned. This is exactly where he should be. I think Rockhold, I think he's just a little bit over the hill, unfortunately. I mean, he had that great last showing, but I don't know how many more of those a person can do being 38, you know what I mean? And then having, as many battles and wars as he's had in the past. Mike Perry's looking really good lately. I'm just going to give it to him. I think he's going to win by a knockout.
Me and you are on the same page today.
Okay.
We're on the same page. I think styles makes fights. If you break it down and you think about it, Mike Perry just fought Michael Venom Page, and Venom Page is very similar height and very long guy, likes to kick a lot, right? But they can't kick in bare knuckle.
Luke Rockhold also likes to kick a lot.
Yeah, that's his one of his main styles of striking is his legs and his kicks and his movement. And bare knuckle is so much different. So I would say, just based off that, Perry's better hands than Rockhold. He's used to this rule set. He's used to this type of.
He was fighting like it was bare knuckle before he was even in the UFC.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's been fighting like it's been bare knuckle his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, just based on all these factors, it's a perfect. And then they're also fighting in high altitude. It's in Colorado. We live in Colorado. We know it's not easy for an outsider to come to our altitude and perform. I think people who are younger, they have that easier time making an adjustment. It's a 7-year difference, right? 31 versus 38. And that adjustment's going to be huge. The weight cut's going to be huge. All these things are going to play a huge factor. And I think Rockhold's is going to be out of his element. He can't kick. He can't grapple. Perry's going to go in there and fuck him up, man. Like Perry's going to go in there and finish him. And yeah, I agree. It's going to be a knockout. I think Perry's going to win knockout and probably third round. And yeah, I think this is Mike Perry's home is bare knuckle. I think he's going to be the guy, the bare knuckle boxing guy and of the world. I want to see. I want Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. That's what I want.
Ooh,
I really wanted that.
yeah.
So after
In bare knuckle.
Let's go.
oh yeah, in bare
In bare
knuckle
knuckle.
and bare knuckle MMA.
Yeah, now we gotta fight.
Yeah.
Dang.
Old school UFC 1 rules.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Nut grabbing's legal. Eye gouging's legal.
Yeah.
You can bite.
Oil checks legal.
Oil checks are legal.
Yeah, I think
You
Luke
can have one weapon under the cage.
Just ready to go. You know you're losing. You're like, oh, there's a knife.
Steel chair.
yeah,
UFC bought WWE, didn't they?
oh yeah,
It's not
that's
out of
that's
life is gonna be weird soon.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Things are getting weird.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Hey, so yeah, Mike Perry knockout third round. It's gonna be domination. Domination.
Luke just throws a head kick out of nowhere. He knows he's losing. He's like, nope, I'm
It's
done.
not gonna work.
Just
Yeah.
gets DQ'd.
It's not gonna work.
I won. I technically won.
I think Rockhold is going off of getting his last little payday here, and he's probably overlooking him, and he's like, oh, I agree to all this shit. You know what I mean? I agree to the weight cut. I'd agree to the fight in the high altitude. I agree to fighting this guy. Yeah. And then he's just not realizing he's fighting a
It
fucking
seems
killer.
like the theme of his career, to be honest. No fucking shade or anything like that, but it's like he tends to overlook guys. He'll
That's
talk
true.
down about him a lot.
Overconfidence.
And then like Bisping, like he was talking crap about Paulo Costa. He was talking pretty much everybody's lost to. It's
Like, I just believe I'm gonna win.
yeah, he puts down whoever he's gonna fight, and then it ends up not looking great.
On that note, yeah, you should like as a competitor. Do you think you should look through people like that, or you should
Never.
like, no matter how they look, or they could put it on you, right? Like it's about technique, not about how you look, right?
Okay, so I think it's good. This is the mindset you have to have as a fighter. Okay, are you guys ready? So as a fighter, you have to believe you can beat anyone in the world. If you don't believe you can beat someone, you should not be a fighter. Plain and simple. But with that being said, you have to respect all your opponents and never overlook them, so you can train really serious and really hard and be prepared for them. So you have to believe you can beat them, but you also have to respect their capabilities, and you have to train proper to fight them. Okay, that's the mindset you should have.
All right.
It's very John Jones for sure. What about like a guy like GSP, like terrified of losing, or like a what's it?
Man's so humble though. Like,
Chael Sonnen, you talked about. He's like, I thought I was gonna lose every fight I've ever been in.
I mean, look at the Diaz bros. Those two, they don't care if they lose.
Yeah.
They're just out there for. They're just like out there for blood.
Did
They win in their own right.
everyone pick?
Yeah.
So how many for Luke? 1.
I'm staying in my guns.
Stand your ground.
I respect it. I respect it, man.
All right, Joey, closing words then.
Just go hard in the paint. Train hard. Watch these fights. Come here and train. Lock down the world. That's all you gotta do.
That's all you have to do.
Roll. Just roll.
That's good. Here, man.
I know, for real. I'm about to cry in here.